Welcome everybody to the Nunnally Show. I'm your host and podcaster Clifton Nunnally. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please stick around after the show and send me an email, maybe a topic that you may want to talk about. But I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Nunnally Podcast Show. Good day, everybody. You are listening to the Nunnally Show. I am your host, Clifton Nunnally. This is the very first podcast, so I want to give myself a round of applause. With that being said, folks, this podcast will help you, or will try to help you understand my viewpoints and my guest viewpoints. Maybe some of my viewpoints you won't agree with, some maybe I won't agree with yours. But that what makes us human beings. We don't agree on everything all the time together, okay? With that being said, you're not right, I'm not right. You're not wrong, I'm not wrong. We all have our own opinions. We all are entitled of our own opinions. The only thing is, I back my opinions up with facts. I'm not going to come on this show and basically tell you something that is a lie or that is false. I'm going to give you facts. I'm going to give you real knowledge. And then I'm going to put my own perspective on what I think about it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be facts. You're going to get 100% facts here. You're not going to get half truth, half facts. You're going to get 100% of truth, knowledge, and wisdom. With that being said, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an African-American male living in this beautiful so-called state, Florida. It's beautiful. What is beautiful? People not so beautiful in per se of attitude-wise. But that you get that wherever you go. So unfortunately, we can't have nice people around 24/7. If that was the case, we'd be in a perfect world. And guess what, folks? We are not in a perfect world. And with that being said, we here at this show, we're going to talk a lot about, not too much politics, because I can't stand politicians. I'm just being honest. I don't really care for politicians. This 2016 election looks like a circus act. That's just my opinion, but I think, millions of other people agree with me also. It's a circus act, but a lot of times you won't get a lot of political talk out of me. You'll get, certain comments from me, but you won't get, the grunt of politic talk with me because I won't go there. It's impossible. It's a never ending story. It's a never winning battle. It's a lose-lose situation for the American people. And with that being said, you won't hear me talk a lot about it. But what you will hear me talk a lot about is, a lot of events that happen around the world, or around this country, I should say. Around the world also. But you will definitely get, knowledge from me on what happens in this, this country called the United States of America. And, with that being said, my first topic today, is going to be, not so much controversial, I'm sorry. But it's going to be a point that I see certain things at, but going back to me a little bit about myself, I wanted to start this podcast a few years ago. But something kept coming in the way, something kept coming in the way of me wanting to start my own podcast. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know, the steps to take. I honestly thought it was impossible. Because I was unknowledgeable. I didn't do my research before I actually thought about it. I just thought about it, I thought about being on radio, being on TV, that's the hard part. The easy part is the podcast. You know, I have my own setup here at my house, my own equipment, and the rest is history. So with that being said, this is my very first show. I've tried to record other shows. They just didn't work out the way I wanted them to. So I didn't start them. I didn't put them out. But this here is my very first show. And I'm thrilled about this show is because of the simple fact I got all my ducks in a row now. So now I feel like, I'm going to present it to the world. And here it is. Every week you're going to get something new from me. Every week you're going to hear my point of views of certain situations. And then, occasionally I may get someone to call in or get some callers to chime in or, read some feedback from people that I get emails from. But with that being said, let's go into our first podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Clip the Nunnally, and today's topic I'm gonna just briefly touch on, an event that has happened, and that event is police brutality against the African American. Well, African in America. That's what I call it. And with that being said, I want to chime in, and I'm not gonna really, drop too many names, just for, other reasons, but I'm just gonna drop events. And, obviously we all know what's been going on. We all have social media. We all have YouTube. Well, that's how you're listening to me now. So with that being said, this last police killing, I'm gonna go to the one in Oklahoma. Okay, I'm gonna go to the one in Oklahoma. Now, as I watched that video, I didn't understand the reason for the police presence. Okay. It was appalling to me. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why they needed, all that police presence for an abandoned vehicle in the road. And the reason I feel that way, the reason why I feel that way is because first off, you have all these police presence on the ground, and then on top of that, you have a police bird in the air, a helicopter for you non-hood people. In the hood we call helicopters birds. But anyway, you have a police helicopter in the air for an abandoned vehicle. That to me right there drew one red flag. Okay, that was one red flag there. Two, my other red flag is the 5 officers on the ground. That was the second red flag. Now you look at those 2 red flags and you think, why is there so much presence for a black male that's stranded on the side of the road? Now they said someone called 911 and reported an abandoned vehicle on the road. Now I've known police officers. I friends with a bunch of police officers, and not once have I ever heard of multiple police officers go out for a abandoned vehicle. That right there is just kind of ironic to me. But with that being said, okay, let's go on with this. And now you see, he sees what's going on, and he decided to say, you know what, I gotta walk away. But as he walks away with his hands up. Now, yeah, a lot of people say he should have complied. He wasn't complying. That's why he walked away. Well, what is he complying to? Is the question. What do you need to comply with? If you are abandoned on the side of the road and you police come and obviously you see he was talking to them because he was in close proximity of them. He had to walk away from them. It's not like they walked up to him. He walked up to them. So the fact that he walked up to them and then he retreated from them, that means obviously he felt that, you know what, I'm not getting nowhere with these guys. So I'm just going to walk away, go sit back in my car. That's what I would have done. Okay. But that's him and that's me. Okay. But as I see it, he probably got irritated. He was probably trying to explain his situation, but they didn't want to hear that. And I think the reason why they did not want to hear anything was because of the 911 call. See, they still haven't released the 911 call. Now, a lot of times, they will release a 911 call. And a lot of people are very quiet on this situation. Okay, if there's a 911 call, why wouldn't you release the tape? Is it because what was said on that 911 call? Make you think. Me, personally, I believe the 911 call went a little something like this. It went, "Hello, 911 operator. I have a big black man walking in the middle of the street. He's walking around this car that it doesn't look like it's his." Oh. Maybe that's what that tape could have said. Or it could have said some other harsh things. Like, I see this big nigger in the road walking around this car that it's not his car. He's trying to steal it. Because the only time a police bird is in the air is for a suspect. Okay? It's for a suspect. It's not for no abandoned vehicle. It's to help locate a suspect. So already this guy was labeled as a suspect. He wasn't labeled as a citizen stranded on the side of the road. He was labeled as a suspect. Why do I know that? Well, just listen to the helicopter pilot. Ooh, this is bad. He looks like a bad dude. He looks like he's on something. How can you see that for hundreds of feet in the air? Because you see he's a big black dude, so that automatically gives you the right to think that he's up to no good or he's not a good person. Makes you wonder. It makes you wonder why they felt the need to pull not only a taser but a gun on this guy. You understand what I'm saying? And then they tried to defame his name. Oh, he was high on the PCP. He reached in the window. Well, what is he? Was he a magician? Because the video and the pictures I seen, the window was rolled up. The window had blood stain on it. So what tells me the window was rolled up. So how can a man put his hand through a rolled up window? That's a question that I would love to answer. I would love for someone to answer. I would love for you to answer that question for me. How can a man put his hand through a window while the window is rolled up? Unless he broke the glass. But obviously the glass was not broken. So the fact that his window was rolled up, he walked away with his hands in the air because he didn't want to be a threat to them. Because obviously someone felt threatened because she had to pull the trigger. And she pulled the trigger. Why did she pull the trigger? Or another scenario. This man could have just been fed up because a lot of African Americans, they are getting fed up with you white people. Yes, I'm going to say that. They are getting fed up with you white people. They are getting fed up with you white people with these false 911 calls, these blatant lies that you guys do when you call 911. Now, you blatantly call 911 and you lie. And then you create a situation with the blacks and the police. You create a situation by a telephone call. By a telephone call, you create a situation because you call 911 in fear of something. What? I don't know. But you cause a situation to happen because that's what you want to do. And it is not right, and it is unfair. It is unfair to the black man for you white people to make these false BS calls for nothing. First off, what do you call it 911 for? What do you call the emergency for? Is something that huge of an emergency you have to call 911 for? See, you will call 911 for a nigger in the road, but you will not call 911 for your husband beating you up upside your head. That doesn't make sense to me. You will call 911 for kids playing on the road in the street, or kids playing music, or kids playing basketball too loud. But you will not call 911 for your son or your husband going upside your head. But you'll call 911 on the black child. Tell me, where does that make sense? Because guess what? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. You know, you make these false calls and then you create a situation, and then unfortunately the situation doesn't end well, because here it is, you know, automatically you're going to have that roided out police officer that just has a temper and wants to create harm and do harm to someone else. And he's going to do it. He's going to put all that anger towards that person that he got the call for, which is not a call in the first place, but because some racist white person decided to call the police for something stupid. And now he feels like, you know what, man, I'm not going to come out here for nothing. I'm just wasting my time. I'm not going to come out here for nothing. I'm going to make a situation happen. And they make up a situation. And 99.99% of the time, it's going to create a situation. And he's going to get exactly what he wants. See, that's the issue that we have. That's the issue that I have. I have that issue with white America, because you guys just don't know how to be an American. You don't know how to be a human being. Okay. You want to treat us worse than the scum of the earth, but yet you guys want us to just take what you throw at us on a daily basis. Where's that fair? How is that fair? How is that fair to us? How is that fair to us taking your crap from you when we didn't ask for it? But going back to the story in Oklahoma, you have this, this white police officer. She shoots this guy, and then she gets over the speaker, shots fired. Like, he shot. No, lady, you shot. You shot and killed a man. For what reason? Obviously, you couldn't get away with the one of he was reaching in his car because his window was rolled up. I know you guys think we're some magical creatures, but I'm sorry, we don't do magic. But you guys, she tried to lie. But then they saw that, well, this man's windows rolled up. Okay. So next lie. Oh, he was high. He was high on PCP. Let me see the toxicology report. Let me see a real toxicology report. Not something that you guys took off a dead white man. Give me a true toxicology report. Because me, honestly, I've never heard of a black man being high on PCP. Never heard it. Never heard it. I'm sorry. That was the 70s drug. No black man does PCP. I'm sorry. PCP is what? Speed? That's speed. He was probably on medication. And a lot of these medications is, has speed the drug that was in speed, a lot of these medication has that same drug, that narcotic. That's why you have to get a prescription for it. And if you are caught using it without a prescription, well, a lot of times we know that you will, get some type of legal situation happen to you because you're using pills, prescription pills. But a lot of those prescription pills have narcotics in them. All of them: Tylenol 3, codeine, Vicodin, what's this? Oxycontin. All these mental health medicines have narcotics in them. So, he had PCP in them. Where's the PCP at? Let me see some PCP. I would love to see some PCP. I would love to see the PCP that this guy supposedly was high on. But again, no PCP. So, next lie. But to top it off, for me, was the fact that this lady has supporters. That right there pissed me off. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That pissed me off. How can a murderer have supporters? I would love for somebody to email me at the Nunnally Show at gmail.com with an answer. How can a murderer have supporters? People actually supporting this lady for killing a black man. Dead in the street, one single shot. Oh, she got a good shot on him. For you to shoot him one time? For you to shoot him one time and kill him? Oh, lady, you got some good aim. That wasn't your first nigger you killed there. I reckon she done killed some niggers before. For you to do a kill shot like that off of one shot, you a bad female. You a very bad female. You killed the guy with one shot. See, I got this thing I believe. I believe the police department gives out badges. And those badges are called I Killed a Nigga badge. The reason why I say that is because a lot of police officers are killing black people now. It's like it's almost they're trying to get a reward. They're trying to get a reward. And that reward, I believe, is I Killed a Nigga badge. But it's hidden, within the department, because there's black cops in the police department and whatnot. So you can't just put it out. You can't. The police just can't have that morning meeting. That morning sit down and say, hey, who wants an I Killed a Nigga badge today? Well, I got 2 left to give out this week. It sounds comical. It does. But it is nothing funny about it. Because this is happening on a daily basis. Listen, we see what the media decides to show us. Who's to say there are not other killings that do not be broadcast? Well, I know that for a fact. There are a lot of police killings that do not get broadcast. It's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad to see certain things like that happen for no apparent reason. It's sad. It's very sad. It's unheard of. It's going back to the prohibition, the Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? After supposedly slavery was over. Listen, I got a question for you. And again, I would love for you to send your answers to the Nunnally Show at gmail.com. What changed? What has changed since 1865? That's a question that I would love people to answer. And if you know what 1865, what ended in 1865, okay, I'll give you a hint. How about that? Something ended in 1865. So I'll give you a hint, but I know you will probably just Google it. That's okay. Google it. That's what Google's for. Bang it, Google, YouTube it, whatever you need to do. But in my eyes, things hasn't changed since then. But I'm not gonna go into depth on that. That'll be another show. But it's hunting season right now, and unfortunately, black men, we are the prey. We are the prey. You understand me? It's not funny. We are actually the prey. They are trying to, silence us. They are trying to, take down our population. I mean, come on, folks. Let's tell the truth. You can't sit back. There was a study. Okay, let me go around for a second. There was a study, and there was a room full of white people, and a person sat in there and asked, who would trade places with a black person? Not one white person raised their hand. Not one. Trust me, you can look it up. And let me see if I can find the video. I'm going to see if I can find the video on YouTube. But you can look it up. It was a study that was done. And, he asked the people, it was like some type of, I don't know what it was, but it was something. And, a guy got up there and asked. He was like, who would trade places with a black man? Not one white person raised their hand. Now, why wouldn't you raise your hand? Why wouldn't you raise your hand? If we were supposed to be, if we're supposedly be treated equal and this and that and that and this, you wouldn't have a problem with raising your hand. Now, would you? Because we're treated equal. Right? Supposedly, we are treated equal. But they know we're not treated equal because they don't treat us equal. I would trade places with a white person. I would. Oh yes, I would. The privilege that you guys have, you guys get any and everything you want. You don't have money for it, you just take it. I'm not being funny, I'm being dead serious. You guys do any and everything that you want, and you get away with it. You get away with any and everything that you want. We can't get away with rolling our eyes. They want to throw us under the jail. Throw us under the jail. Just for rolling our eyes. Yep. But, going back to this topic, this is a topic that a lot of people don't want to hear. And I'm sorry, white folks, white people. You guys got to hear this. You guys have to hear this. You guys have to hear what we go through. Okay? You want us to hear what Scruffy and Fluffy and Max went through. Yeah, these are dogs. You want us to hear what these dogs go through, But you don't want to hear what another human being go through. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that you guys pretend like nothing's going on in the world, that this stuff ain't happening. Now, yeah, we got a mass majority that, that are doing something about it. They're protesting with the Black Lives Matter, and I get that. Okay, I applaud them for that. I really do. I'm being very sincere. I applaud them for that. But that's not enough. That's not enough. We need action. We just don't need a source. We don't need, a demonstration. We need action. We need things to start to happen. Action speaks louder than words. We all know that. We need actions right now. We don't need words. We had words for the last hundreds of years. We're tired of words now. We are tired of words now. We need action. I was looking at a video. This just happened in what was that? The walk on Selma. It was in 1960. Here it is. You have a white officer telling this black kid that he doesn't want to pray with them. You go over there. You pray by yourself. Go to your church. You don't need to pray over here. And the black kid you want to pray with me? Oh, I don't pray with you. I'm not going to pray with you. I pray in my own way. And he goes on to say, but what it's about love. I don't have to love anybody. I choose to love who I want to love. Now these are true words. These are true statements. True statements, folks. Very true statements. This is what an officer is telling this young black man. Okay? But the funniest thing about that, not once did this black kid change his demeanor toward that officer. Not once. He was smooth, no facial expressions, didn't get out of line. He showed, courage, love at the same time. He showed courage and love at the same time. But yet this white officer showed so much hate for that black boy. So much hate for him. Just because the color of his skin. See, sometimes we talk too fast, okay? And things don't come out the way they should. I'm going to say this slow. They hated this boy because he was black. Because he was black. A lot of hatred going on right now is not because of what we don't have or what we did. It's because the color of our skin. But guess what, white people? Get your DNA done. Get your DNA tested. And I can promise you, there's going to be a good percentage of your DNA stems back from the African continent. You don't believe me? YouTube ancestry DNA test results. I'm talking about white, Hispanic, obviously black. Oh yes. The African continent, baby. Because guess what? We are all descendants of Africa. Why? Because we were the first ones on this planet. Why? Because that's the way God designed it. We didn't design it. God did. God designed it that way. We knew as we read the Bible that who he talked about in Deuteronomy 28. We knew who he was talking about. the descriptions of the people that he was explaining in the Bible. We knew who he was talking about. The way they hated Jesus Christ. We know what he looked like. Because that same thing happens today. You would rather crucify an innocent man than let a murderer that you know is a murderer live. You let him live. The guy in Aurora, Colorado. The guy in Charleston, North Carolina. The terrorist in Jersey. The guy in Oklahoma years ago. The guy that shot up the abortion clinic. The guy that shot up the school, what you call that? Special needs school. You letting these murderers live. They are letting these murderers live. Murderers, okay? Letting these murderers live. But a nigga walking back to his car, he's such a threat, you have to kill him. Damn, the world we live in is messed up. Where murderers can breathe an extra day, but an innocent man that walks back to his car gets murdered. I don't care if he was high on PCP, BBD, baking soda, cocaine. I don't care what he was high on. You didn't get a call because he was disturbing anybody, so why did you need to do that to him? You did not get a call stating that a man was acting erratic. A man was breaking into a vehicle. A man walking in the street with a gun. A man just left his house from chilling up people. A man put bombs on the side of the road. A man walked inside of a church and murdered 9 people. A man walked into a theater and shot up 100 people. You didn't get a call like that. You got a call because of a black man was walking in the street back to his car. And you decided to end his life. Shame on you, America. White America at that. Shame on white America. It is white America's fault that we are in this situation we are in now. Because you guys look at us like we're such villains, when actually you are the villains. You are the terrorists. You are the evil pricks that do what they do on a daily basis to people, not us. We don't do half the stuff that you guys get away with. Yes, half the stuff you guys get away with, we don't even do. I apologize if I seem a little angry, but you know what? It's just it's a need for it. It's a need for it. Because when is enough gonna be enough? When is enough gonna be enough? When is enough gonna be that point where, you know what, the police or that white police officer is gonna stop that other white police officer? When is it gonna be enough when that white police officer tell that other police officer put the gun away? When is it going to be enough the police chief say, you know what, I'm sick of this going on in my department? When is it going to be enough when the mayor say, you know what, I'm sick of this going on in my city? When is it going to be enough for the governor to say, you know what, I'm sick of this stuff going on in my state? When is it going to be enough for that senator to say, I'm tired of this going on in my state? Not saying, oh, I pray for the families. We need to figure out a solution. No, we have already figured out a solution. Stop killing black people. That's the solution. Then we can get on with our lives. That's the solution. No other solution needs to be put in play. Stop shooting black people. Stop racially profiling black people. Why don't you take the time to find out the issue first before you draw your gun? Because you got to think of this. If you draw your gun, you're afraid. Now the person that got that gun drawn on them, they are afraid. Now they're nervous, okay? Because now they don't know what to do. Now they don't know if they should move this way or move that way because they might get killed. Now they're put in an uncomfortable situation where, you know what? Now they're so nervous, they start to act erratic because they're nervous and they're scared. See, that's what they do. They get us nervous and they get us scared so they can get a false reaction out of us and blame, and then that will be justified of why they pulled the trigger. Because they come looking for a reaction out of us. And then when they don't get a reaction out of us, that pisses them off even more. And so they try to make a reaction out of it. Instead of saying, you know what, guys, let's talk about this. What's going on? You're there to protect and serve, not murder and bury, because that's what you're doing. That is all you guys are doing, is murdering and burying the black man. It is not right. It is not fair, because at the end of the day, those men or women do not get to go home and see their family. Kids don't get to see their father. Mothers don't get the chance to see their son. Because one stupid cop made a stupid decision, and now everybody has to pay for it. Everybody. Okay, folks. I didn't intend for this to go that way, but it happened. And sometimes we go off course. But it happens. I'm passionate. That's one thing that you're going to notice throughout all these podcasts. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about what I know. I'm passionate about what I go through. I'm very passionate. My heart goes out to these, that family that, will never get a chance to see that guy again. It's very sad because I've lost loved ones. Not by the hand of police officers. I just lost loved ones. And, that feeling of not being able to see them again, it's not a good feeling, And, for these kids to see a police officer every day, they're never going to like the police. They're never going to like them. Just because one police officer took their father. They're going to be afraid of the police. They're going to be afraid to call the police. Because of that one police officer that decided to pull the trigger on an innocent man. Well, that is my show for today, folks. I hope you like the show. I would love for you to, like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, send me a request, an answer, a request, whatever you want at the Nunnally Show at gmail.com. And I definitely use it, and I'll answer questions. Pretty soon, we're gonna have live Skype calls, and we're gonna go somewhere with this. And I want it to go on a national scale, and I would love for people to really help me put this on a national scale, because I have a lot to talk about. I have friends that have a lot to talk about, and they will be joining me in podcasts as well. So with that being said, folks, God bless you all, love you all, and I look forward to being a part of your lives. With that being said, folks, I'm out.